In the darkest nights, we find our light. Battered souls, but we won't lose sight. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial, we carry on. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial, we carry on. Surviving together, we stand tall. United forever. Strength and courage will overcome. Surviving together, victorious. Never, never alone. Hand in hand, we'll face the unknown.
We see you, we hear you, and we believe you. Hey, everyone. How you doing? Well, I sure picked a day to have an interactive live. This is going to be a little different. You saw the topic, ants. For those of you who don't know, automatic negative thoughts. And I didn't want to spend an episode going over them and, what they are and all of that, because I think most of us have been through that and have beat that horse to death. What I wanted to find out is, how do you deal with them? How do you catch yourself having those thoughts? Because I don't know about you, but I can have them and be gone and onto something else before I've even realized that I've done it, that I've had one and I've put myself down and I'm moving on before I even realize I have it. So that's kind of what I want to talk about tonight in that sort of format. But first off, let's get some things out of the way. One is just welcoming everybody. But first, coffee. Susie, welcome, welcome, welcome. Crystal, glad to have you here. Kim, oh my gosh, seeing your sister for the first time. That's so exciting. Oh my Lord. I am so excited for you. You will have to tell us how it goes. I'm sure it's going to be phenomenal. Phenomenal. Because you're a phenomenal person. So, right? What could your sister be? Phenomenal. Donna, welcome. So glad you're here. And let's see. Misha is around and about. She's kind of taking some stuff in the backs. Your sister Glynis, and you use pets, positive, encouraging thoughts. Very nice. Very nice. I'm going to get back to that in just a second. First off, a little birdie told me that Crystal had a birthday yesterday. So happy birthday. I'm not going to sing you happy birthday because nobody likes that. So at least my singing. So, but happy birthday. I'm sorry. So sorry you're struggling with a migraine, but we wish you all the best. And I know what it's like personally for struggling with migraines, and they suck. So lay low. If you can't listen today, catch us on the repeat. No worries. Oh, full of hope. Wonderful. Oh, yeah. It's super early for you. Nighty night. But thanks for stopping by. I'm so glad you did. Quick before everybody goes anywhere, just so you know, Saturday's live is up, but if you'll notice, it's 2 hours back. It's at 5 o'clock instead of 3 o'clock. That's because my son has a graduation party on Saturday, finally. So we're going to be doing that until 3. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of time, and then I'll scoot over here and do our live. So it's just going to be 2 hours later. So just FYI, guys, there is not a mistake in the time when you look at the upcoming live screen. Okay. So there we go. Oh, good. I'm glad you had a good birthday. That's awesome. Better than today, right? Better than migraine day. Migraine days suck. So yeah, ants. And why did I pick this? Because Saturday I was all geeked about doing something else, right? And it actually occurred to me because of something a friend of mine said. He was over here and he said, you know, I'm so proud of you. You have gone this whole visit and you haven't put yourself down once. I was stunned, literally. One, that he paid enough attention to that he, realized it. But now that I think about it, he always calls me out on it. And there's so many times that I don't think I catch myself. I don't think I realize I'm having them. It'll be me talking to a friend, talking to somebody else in our community who'll be going, you got to get a hold of those ants. And I'm like, oh crap, you're right. That's what's bothering me. That's what's going on is I've got ants. So instead of talking to them and dealing with them, I'm frustrated with a situation or something. So I wanted to know, what do you guys do to catch yourself? What are there any cues? Do you tend to talk down to yourself about any particular thing? Do you have certain ants that tend to come up more than others? So are there cue words or situations that you find yourself in that that are triggers for you? They say, yeah, you know what? I'm dealing with an ant, so that I need to switch it over to a pet, as Kim says, a positive, encouraging thought. So replace that ant with a pet, which is totally lovely because, it could be a cute, fluffy bunny or doggy or, doggy, puppy, little kitty, anything. What do you do? I can honestly say that I struggle with this a lot. It is a lot like my neck. I've been seeing the chiropractor because of my neck was curving the wrong way. And why? Computer, phone. Yeah. And I was going to end up with that Quasimodo hump like my mom has. And I do not want that, right? So I've got traction exercises that I need to do. And I have to catch myself either leaning down or leaning forward. I would lean forward into things a lot because that was the curvature of my neck. And it's really hard to catch yourself when you're so used to doing it. So I just, hey, anybody got any tips? I'm looking for them. I'll tell you anything that I've got in my toolbox, which, sometimes isn't a whole heck of a lot. Honestly, talking to other people is when I end up finding them. And so when something's bugging me, when I've been thinking about it like more than once, I generally try to call or text somebody and be like, you know what, this is really bugging me. And then they're the ones who generally call me on like the ants. Okay. So Donna, is it when you're talking to certain people then that you notice it because of that relationship that you have with somebody else? So that you have to be conscious of not talking bad about yourself in that situation when you're talking to that other person, because it's normally an issue. That's what I'm getting from what you said. Let me know if that's a correct interpretation of that. Crystal has a hard time catching them as well. Yeah, they definitely do happen more when you're down and out. When you're depressed, when you're feeling bad about something, it just can be, I mean, you're feeling bad. I mean, it's hard not to feel, it's hard to feel good about stuff when you're, and think positive when you're feeling kind of down. And again, this is the time that I need to reach out to people the most, because I'm not great at changing that internal dialogue. But because I don't think I recognize it a lot, I am getting a little bit better at recognizing it. Ooch. I'm getting better about just not doing it, period. And I don't know if that, I'll say with certain people. And I think it's with the people who call me out on it the most. I'm not conscious of it. It's not like I'm consciously saying, oh, they're going to call me out on something, so I can't say anything bad about myself. I'm not even aware of it. But I think I tend to just smooth sailing a little bit more with those people because they're always going to catch me. That's just weird. Hey, Shannon, how you doing? Glad you're here. I did make the announcement. Saturday's live will be at 5 p.m. Eastern. It's a couple hours later. And if you look back in the chat, it was Crystal's birthday yesterday. So woohoo! Every time somebody new comes, Crystal, you're going to have to get another happy birthday woohoo. So just forewarning you. I'm going to have to open my window, guys. It is just boiling in here. Okay, fortunately there are no kids outside, so if they do appear, I will close it. But I think I'm gonna bite the bullet, and I don't know how much it'll cost to have an electrician in. I do not have an overhead light, which would solve a lot of my lighting problems here. But I want to get a ceiling fan installed. I died last summer. I mean, literally, I was sitting here in like my bra and underwear half the time working because I was so freaking hot. And nobody wants to see that for the live, so I won't put you through that. But I think I'm going to bite the bullet. I don't know how much it's going to cost. I'm anticipating like $300 to $500. Who knows? Because they're going to have to pull the wire up and through the ceiling. And then there's like, what, another 100, 150 for the ceiling fan, I think. Those are last prices I knew, so God only knows what they are now. But it'll be something simple because I don't need anything that's real complicated. I can even have the chain thing. I don't need remote control. I mean, it's right there, you know. So, yeah, I don't want to do any window air conditioners, mainly because of my cats. It just, I can see them jumping on things, and gosh forbid that it's not fitted. And I have weird windows. These windows are like 4 feet tall by like, they open about 2.5 feet wide. So I don't have standard windows. So it's really weird with that. Ah, I see. Yeah, Donna, this is a tough one. You know, Mitch and I were just talking about our relationship with our kids and how we tend to blame ourselves for a lot. And there may be things that, valid are things that we did wrong, but they're things we did wrong in the past. And if that's affecting them now, we can certainly try and help them through whatever issue they're dealing with. But ultimately, yeah, like my son's gonna be 18 here soon, so his decisions are his decisions. And I can just only hope that if it's something he's unfamiliar with, that he'll come to me and try and work through something before he just, often does something on his own. And if there's an issue that I see that's something that affected him because of the way I parented, because of something that I didn't do, I hope that I can step in and make it right. Yeah, it's a tough one. I feel for you, Donna. I absolutely feel for you. It's a real difficult. As parents, we want the best for our kids. And no matter how old they are, they're still our babies. And we still want to coddle them to a certain degree because, we hate seeing bad things happen to them or having them make bad decisions. And it's unfortunate that they may not get, the best outcome because of a decision that they made. But there are times that my son has done that, and I've had to realize that that mistake is what's making him who he is. He had to make that mistake. Even though I told him, he he knew. He still made the mistake. He had to learn from it, and he had to go through that experience. So sometimes things are just totally out of our control, maybe for a reason, because they have to do it. Yeah, I was the stubborn one in my family, so I can certainly relate. It yeah, that can be a difficult situation. But and I don't know exactly your situation or how you relate to each of your girls, but I can say from the stubbornness standpoint that the more the person opposite me backed off and wasn't in my face, the less stubborn I was. So taking advice or giving an opinion from a softer standpoint, or maybe a less direct way of saying it, might be more effective with someone who's that stubborn. Just coming from a stubborn person, just letting you know. Yeah, my parents, Crystal, my parents had one of those Arctic fans, and it would, because I'm on the third, my bedroom and my office are on the third floor. I say third because the basement I count as our first floor, and that's where the furnace is. The AC, of course, is outside, and the heat doesn't get up here, I swear, and the air conditioning doesn't feel like it gets up here. To be fair, I think I have the air off right now, but even if I did, it doesn't make it all the way up here. So I had one of those, and I put it on my nightstand, so like right next to me, and then it was like I felt it. But I didn't think it just to have it like in my office and expect it to cool. This office is not that big. I mean, it's like 10 by 10 or something. I would expect that it would cool the space, but it didn't. I don't know. Maybe they've got Arctic Fan 2.0 or something, and maybe that'll be better. Or, maybe by a different brand or something, will work. But yeah, I'm I'm at the point, it gets so hot up here in the winter, and it's supposed to be like 95 here this weekend, which is weird for Michigan because it's just gone. This is like, and I think we made 58 the other day, and now we're going to be, but we were 75 the other day. So we're all over like this, but it's supposed to be really hot this weekend. So I think I'm going to have to A, turn the air on, and B, when it gets that hot, literally I have the bowl of ice and sitting in front of a fan to help. We're doing old fashioned, old school air conditioning. I'll do anything to try and, make it cooler in here. But yeah, I keep remembering in the evening, oh yeah, I was going to call the electrician about that and see how much it would be. And I totally space on doing it. I think because I've been so busy during the day. Oh, I was just reading back with Kim's comments real quick. Hey, Mark, how you doing? It does. I mean, it's not real effective because the ice melts depending on how hot it is in there, and you've got to keep replacing the ice. But it is cooler than just a fan. Eastern PA is getting it too. I'd be interested to see where the heat wave is. I gotta imagine the South is going to be like boiling. Mark, what's the temperature over by you? Celsius is fine. I can do conversions. I'm just curious to see, like today, what was your high today or this weekend? Do they have we're going to be like 95 here, which is I think over 30 Celsius for you guys. I could be wrong on that, but I think. So, oh wow, you lot cooler, lot cooler. That's where we were kind of a couple days ago. Yeah, it's just going to be out of this world this weekend for it seems like most of the US. I don't know what the West is going to be, but at least, yeah, I didn't know, but I rented the clubhouse here. I live in a condo association. So I rented the clubhouse for my son's graduation party. And they've got it set fairly cool, but she's like, with a bunch of people, and they gave us the key early so that, the night before we can go in and set it lower. And she was the one who was telling me about how hot it was going to be. And I was like, oh, thank God for the pool. But I'm not going to have time to use it. Maybe Sunday I'll have a chance to go to the pool. Definitely won't have a chance on Saturday. That is going to be full-on grad party, cleaning, and then doing our live here, which I will decide what to do for our live. Mark, you're just joining us today. So Saturday's live is going to be 2 hours later. It's going to be at 5 o'clock Eastern. So whatever that makes it, whatever it's normally for you on Saturday, push it back 2 hours. My son has his graduation party. And today, I wasn't going to go over ants and what they are and all that kind of stuff and coping mechanism. And we pretty much all know what they are. I wanted to find out how you guys deal with them. How do you recognize them? How do you catch them? How do you catch yourself having the ant thoughts and labeling them as ants and going, oh, that's an ant. I need to squash that ant. Because I'm not very good at recognizing them in myself. And I think there are probably certain things that I have just done for such a long time in ways of putting myself down that I don't even really realize it or realize that I'm putting myself down. I think I'm maybe doing an explanation or something like that. My friends will be like, no, you're putting yourself down. As I said, the reason this came up is because somebody said, my gosh, this whole visit, you haven't put yourself down once. And I was like, really? What? Oh, I mean, I hadn't even thought about it. It wasn't something I was trying to do purposely at all. But it got me thinking, I don't know generally when I'm having ants unless I'm talking to somebody else and they call me out on it. Okay. So maybe that's, because I tend to pick up the phone when I'm upset, right? And I tend to call somebody or, text them or whatever. I reach out generally. Because if I'm having a bad day, why shouldn't somebody else, right? I share the love. I'm just that kind of person. I want to make sure that everyone feels it. But it's funny because they're the first people who are able to catch it. I mean, it'll be like 6 sentences out of my mouth and they'll be just like, those are some bad ants. And it's like, oh, yeah, you're right. Or like, what is really bothering you about this? Is the situation bothering you, or is it negative thoughts that you have about the situation or about your role in the situation or about being left out of the situation, whatever the case is? So I guess, sometimes maybe I can try and do that before I pick up the phone. I can talk it out loud and see if I can recognize having the ants crawl, because I think it's not easy squashing them, but it certainly is a lot easier to do once you've recognized that you are having the ants. Trying to put a positive spin on something, sometimes the best that you can do is to get to neutral. You may not be able to have a positive thought, like Kim suggested. Her and her sister have pets. What did you call them? Positive? I think of entertaining, but that's not right. What did you? I gotta get it. I'm gonna get it right. Encouraging. There you go. Positive, encouraging thoughts. I may not be able to get there, but maybe you can at least squash them. Squash the ant. If you can't replace it with a pet. I like that. We're going to use that, Kim. SAS Communities adopted the pets, just to let you know. So from now on, you know what pets are. Positive, encouraging thoughts. And pets replace ants because ants are ucky. And I think Mock's the only one I didn't announce it to. Oh, and Nick. Welcome. You're not late. You're right on time for when you're supposed to be here, right? So, for anyone who's late or just here at a different time, Saturday's live is going to be 2 hours later than it normally is. So the time that it says 5 o'clock Eastern on the live notification, that's not wrong. I didn't do a typo. My son has his graduation party. So I am going to be saying hi to all the relatives. Yay. It'll be fun. Also, announcement for anybody here is new. It was Crystal's birthday yesterday, so we all wished her happy birthday. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. You have cats and they chase the ants? Mine do too. They will chase anything that is flying or moving. So ants, stink bugs, I try not to have them eat them because I don't want that smell around. They can catch flies out of the air. I don't know how they do it, but it's pretty amazing. I have watched one of them flap a bee out of the air and went, and then ate the bee, which it was actually like a wasp. I was freaking out because all I could think of is, it's going to get the stinger stuck in its roof of its mouth or something, but didn't. So yeah, they will eat absolutely anything that moves. Huh, that's interesting. Oh, cats jumping is just out of this freaking world. Your grandma had this thing where she went about it. I can either figure it out or mope about it until I can't see the way out. Interesting. I just got yelled at usually if I was in a bad mood. If I kept the bad mood to myself, it was fine. It's just if it leaked into anybody else's, if it leaked into my conversation, or if I was getting snotty because I was in a bad mood or whatever, yeah, that was not acceptable. So this may be a short live, guys. I just, I wanted to see what everybody else had to say, what you guys had. Oh, I do want to announce something. I will not be live streaming anymore with a simulcasting. Let me put it that way. Simulcasting with the lifeboat or with anybody else's channel for that matter. We're not monetized yet. It's still going to be a while before we're going to be monetized. But unless YouTube changes its algorithm, changes its community guidelines, AA Ron just put this out today because about 4 SPTVs have been demonetized for simulcasting with other channels. And those were other channels where they actually had the people on. So like say I had 3 guests on and we were simulcasting to each of their channels, all the channels got demonetized because only one channel can have that content, unique content. It's not unique just because for the other channel, just because that person is on this channel. So just cutting it in the bud. I don't think that we're going to be doing any simulcasting. I don't know if it's affected the lifeboat at all, if they've, gotten chomped for it. Something to think about with them. But hey, we are almost to 850 watch hours, guys. So it's 4.5 months. 4.5 months, and we're almost to 850 watch hours. Amazing. Amazing. Well, what's the surprise? Well, it wouldn't be a surprise if I told you now, would it? The surprise will be at the end. It will be something special. I will be playing for you. So see if you can hold out to the end. I won't make this too late because I actually do still have some more work to do. So we'll probably end at 8. But thank you to everyone who is here. Yeah, that was one of the thoughts, was that if you're going to have multiple people on, everybody goes on one channel and then, they can switch over to somebody else's channel and you guys get to continue the conversation or whatever. And do it. That's one way to do it. I don't want to be relying on that. And then when we do become monetized, have it be an issue. But who knows? Maybe they'll change things before then. By then, who knows? But yeah, that was an interesting little thing that I thought today that I want to let Spanx know, and I should have tagged him. I should have tagged that video to him, but I wasn't thinking about it because I was just reading it real quick as a document was loading for me at work. So if nobody has any, other ant type of things to talk about, what's going on with you guys lately? How you been? Any struggles that you've been going through? Anything been leaking through any of those boxes that you try not to think about? Anybody got anything that they need to talk about? Good or bad? Yahoo! Water aerobics, that can be a tough workout. I tell you, sweating in the water is a unique feeling. And that's just incredible. Which job option? I have accepted, I am working on a job right now that is supposed to go through September, possibly into October. But I am keeping my eye out on any newer ones that come out. I'm fairly faithful though. So if something comes out and it's just a few dollars more an hour, I'm not going to bail on the company that I've committed to for that. But if it was a $10 an hour raise, yeah, sorry to the people I'm working with, I would bail. I mean, they've got to understand that, I mean, they're paying just the lowest market rate there is. So it's not a surprise to me. But if somebody's willing to actually pay us more what we're worth, then, we're just going to have to go there. Pain's been your friend? Ah, that's awful. What kind of pain? I'll tell you, because my sciatica has been acting up lately. I get flare-ups, and I have just had them more often. I do know I get them when I sit more, and I have been sitting more and not getting up, which is just awful for me. So I know my sciatica has just been doing it. You know what? And Shannon Donna's right. It releases, the exercise releases the dopamine, and it makes us feel better. And even if it's only temporary, but it will have some lasting effects. And if you keep doing it day after day, it does. Or even if you do like a walk in the morning and a walk in the evening, and they don't have to be very long. 10 minutes will be enough. 20 would be great, but 10 minutes. And then you kind of spread it out during your day, getting that dopamine activated. When I started a concerted effort of coming out of my mental breakdown, that's what I had to do. I had to have some form of good feelings, coming in on somewhat of a regular basis. So, at the time my son was in elementary school. The elementary school was 2 doors down from where we were living. So I would walk him to school, rain or shine, snow, whatever, and back. It wasn't a huge walk, but at least I would get out, I would get there, I would get back, and then I would go pick him up and do the same thing at 3. And then usually, hopefully, after dinner, I would try and go for a walk, with my son or without. And spreading that out really helped. You skipped your walk because it was raining today. Yeah. Grab some gear, grab some gear and grab an umbrella, get a raincoat slicker and get out there anyway, or go play in the rain. Yeah. What do you have? Abs from the aerobics? Yeah, definitely. Arms too, depending on what they have you do. If you kind of like are in the shallows and you get on your knees and you start doing like some of these things, wow. Because I noticed I'm getting chicken wing, and I want to get rid of that. I actually, be proud of me. I only did one arm because that arm is actually this arm had surgery on it, so it's actually weaker. So I'm okay with just working this one out for a while. But I do have my 3 pounds. Yeah, 3 pounds. It's just a little weight. So just to do little things as I'm here working, because I can't do a whole lot. But so I'm trying to, I've got it right here. Oh, tropical downpour. Okay, well, maybe not. Oh, that's right. You're in Florida. That's right. Yellow rain boots. I have a pair of hot pink ones. I think I bought them for like, I don't know how. They were dirt cheap. They're really thin too. Walking to change your point of view. Yep. That's another benefit to it, right? To walking, you're getting out, you're not looking at the same 4 walls. It's easier to think different thoughts when you're not sitting in the same place. And I can vouch for this because my reading chair is generally where my butt's stuck whenever I'm stuck. And if I get out, even if it's just to walk to the kitchen and back, whatever I'm thinking about seems to kind of be put on pause, because now I'm thinking about where I'm going and what I need to do or whatever. So even just that. So it just shows you the power of getting up and changing your surroundings. So even if that's moving from one room to a next, if you do have mobility issues, that could help. You stay near the deep end, which is why the abs and hamstrings are getting big workout. Yes. And your glutes too. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah, if I had the time, that would be awesome to do that. Oh, that's fabulous. That is fabulous. Look at this. Monica's at the sea on Monday. It was pouring cold and had to walk to the car barefoot to get slippers, but you felt alive. Yeah. There's nothing like the sea or the ocean. I would live on one if I could. I'd just be on that coast. Janet, if you're watching or listening, I may be moving in with you next year or the year after. Just forewarning you. Just forewarning you. I'll share the room. I'll share the guest room with anybody who comes. Gladly. But you may have a longer term guest. Just saying. Yeah. And Mock, email me, please. I want to PayPal you or Cash App or whatever. I want some of that tea you get. I have got to try this stuff for myself. So I will PayPal you or whatever, however you want, whatever amount you need for the shipping, and figure out how much it is to ship to the US and for the tea. And I want some of that stuff. I've got to try what you have. And I take your recommendation. It's artisan tea. They actually make it in this little shop that he goes to, or she goes to by the sea, right? Am I right? Am I getting this right? I think so. Don't you go with your brother? And so they've got just like all kinds of combo of tea, and it just sounds amazing. And I want some. Just saying, I want some. So email me. We got to work something out here. Yipperdoodles. The airlines might strike, like all of them, or just one of them. What's going on, Shannon? You want to live with Janet too? I know, right? It's so awesome. Right now she's got like 200 game birds to take care of. I'm not sure, that's a little different. I'm not sure Sarah would do that. But once she moves to the coast, I am there. At least from May until September. Maybe I'll be a fair weather friend. That flight attendants for your airline. Can you state what airline you are working? So it's the flight attendants that might strike, not the airline. It's not anybody else, not the pilots or anybody. The flight attendants would be striking. Ugh. Oh, now I'm jealous. Okay, Shannon, I have to come visit you too. American. I know I've asked you this, Shannon. Where in Florida are you? Because I have a cousin who lives in Jacksonville. So I could always fly to my cousin's. And she lives a couple miles from the beach as well. Okay, so this is what Monica says about the tea. I am trying to cut down my coffee consumption. I've noticed that it's increased a little bit because I do get that 3 p.m. crash. And so I used to have an energy drink in the afternoon, and that totally was fine for me. But I am trying to get away from the energy drinks. So then I noticed I was drinking a few more cups of coffee in the morning. So I'm trying to get away from that. I've got my big old water thing here, and I know exactly where you are. Ah, there. Okay, Mox got the right idea. Go with Shannon's in the winter and you'll bring tea. Oh, that's freaking hilarious. It's about a 5-hour drive from Jacksonville. Okay. Yeah, my parents have a condo at Disney World. So we're down there every once in a while, depending on when my parents beg us to come down. I'm so over the parks, but I love the condo area that they have because it's quiet and we don't even realize you're on Disney property, and you can just go to the pool every day and just go to downtown Disney if you just want to look at overpriced stuff. And it's just kind of nice to, just that's my ideal vacation basically, is a book on the beach. You could sit my butt there and I would be happy for the entire thing. This is actually what I used to do when I visited my friend in Cayman. There were a lot of afternoons that I didn't even dive because I was just on the beach reading, happy as a clam. Oh, you went to college in Orlando. Okay. Tea with raw honey. I was like, raw honey and cinnamon. Yeah, Crystal, I'd love that. That's interesting. I love chai. It's hard to get good chai. There are some brands who make a good chai tea bag and actually have like ingredients. You'll notice it's not like, it doesn't just look like loose leaf tea in there because they're actually putting the ingredients to chai in there. And you have to let it steep for a lot longer because of the ingredients that are there. But it's really hard to find companies around. Again, it's going to be more like an artisan thing. So bigger tea shops. And in my city of 100,000, maybe in East Town, I'd be able to find somebody who does that. There was a company that the company I'm working for ordered out of, and we got it through them. I really just need to figure out the recipe and make my own. But I'm a sucker for chai. I drank so much of that when I lived in Kenya, because they don't drink their own coffee. It's an export, so everybody drinks tea, and I just love Kenyan tea. But specifically chai, when you add all the spices to it and stuff, it's just yummy. Grand Cayman. You've been to Grand Cayman, I assume? Yeah, I was on Cayman Brac. So I was on the second smallest island. Then there's Little Cayman, which is 5 miles from Cayman Brac. And I don't know, I think there's 30 maybe miles between Cayman Brac and Grand Cayman. You can't see it. It's a ways. It take you total too long in a boat type of thing. Unless we had a big yacht. But that's the nice thing about Cayman Brac is they don't have anywhere for big yachts or ocean liners or cruise ships or any of that to dock. It's too small of an island. It's like 12 miles by like 1 mile wide or something like that. But there was one time I do remember sitting on my dock and there was an enormous yacht and the back end of it went, and then this full-size boat backed out of that boat. that's where your just mind goes. You want to know who in the world is on that, because that is just 4 levels up of wealthy, right? It's just beyond me. The Grand Cayman's nice. I haven't seen a whole heck of a lot of it. I think, I'd probably go back to Bermuda once. It was nice. I didn't see as much of it as I would like. If you ever go, you must go to the Rum Swizzle Inn and get a rum swizzle and get one. You will only need one. We had, those baby pitchers that are about like this big, about 6 inches tall or something like that. My husband and I split one of those, of their rum swizzle, because it's not just rum. It's a lot of stuff. He's 6'5". At the time, 250, 270 pounds. He's a big guy. And he could hold some alcohol. I about had to roll him back down the hill. Thank God it was downhill to where we were staying, because he was so drunk. I mean, I stopped at like half a glass. This stuff is so strong, unbelievably strong, but it's good. It really is good. And they've been on some of the, I don't know, Cocktails of the World shows or on Food Network, that kind of stuff. So they've been featured. Definite go-to. So there's my only go-to. Yes, absolutely. The wealth gap is horrible, and it's only getting worse, unfortunately. And it does kill me in places like, so Shannon, they come in the winter down. So summer, I bet you've got all these empty houses that they're probably not even renting out, that just sit. And Michigan has the same thing along our lake shore. Tons and tons of these homes. And people come in the summer. Basically 3 months, June, July, and August. And the rest 9 months of the year, some people rent them out to students. There's Hope College, some liberal arts colleges around the area, but most of them just sit empty. And I just, scratch my head about the whole thing and think, there's just gotta be a way of dealing with our housing issue. But it takes more of an altruistic temperament, I guess. And I know that good section, your next door neighbors come for 2 weeks a month. I'll live in their place for 2 weeks, and then I'll live in your place for 2 weeks. How about that? Yeah, Michigan, everybody just started opening their cottages and everything. And there's a lot of them actually, not just on the lake shore, but cottages in the middle, because we have Manistee National Park, which is kind of in the middle of the northern part of lower Michigan. And so there's a lot of cottages there, can be more rural, rustic, it's going to be that type of thing. Then when you get to the top of Michigan, lower Michigan, Traverse City, Ludington, Petoskey, these areas they used to be kind of some quaint little towns, and now they are just, the wealthy have moved in. Shannon, if you've got somewhere to be, I bet that you could make a good deal of money doing something like that. I'm always kind of nervous of thinking about like putting up my place or whatever. But I know tons of people use them, and do the rental. So it's got to work out, right? Your dad was from Traverse. Yeah, my best friend from high school went to college up in Traverse, and I used to visit her. So this was in the late 80s. Totally different town. Didn't have all the wineries there. Didn't have all the shopping that they do now. So all the restaurants that came in, it's really become, I don't want to say commercialized, but it's definitely deals towards the tourists coming in, and the areas on the bay there have the costs of the property just went sky high, and it's just totally for the rich. I mean, it is a neat place though. I mean, I think it's one of the few places you can do a kayaking beer tour, which just doesn't sound all that safe to me when you're adding alcohol and water sports. Don't generally, try and not get you to do that. The first time I heard about it, I was like, what? Say what? Because we have a lot of, craft breweries around Michigan, and there's a lot of them dotted throughout the northern part of lower Michigan. And I guess there is these inlets and stuff that you can go by, and it goes by several breweries. And so you stop in and have a drink, and then you get back in your kayak and you go to the next one. And all I can think of is the guy at the last one, getting in his kayak and just immediately like, I just, it's been a while since I've been up there. I bet the last time I was up there was when I ran in the Cherry Festival. Their Cherry Festival run, their 5K run, I think was the last time I was up there. Night, Shannon. Mox is a town by the ocean that you go to, has a street towards the ocean. And it's insane what you get there with building and renting crappy old houses. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Same type of situation here. Just amazing, the prices that you will get. And people even just buying it and then demoing the houses that are on these properties. They just want them for the property because of the beach front. And then they will build, whatever can fit within, the parameters. It's just mind-boggling. And you look at some place like West Palm Beach, which is just insane. And you've got the rich and the poor. I mean, literally, there's a dividing line between rich and poor West Palm Beach, and just Palm Beach as well. And that's just unbelievable. You look at some of these places, and they're just, I mean, millions and millions of dollars for these houses that sit empty most of the year. Like I said, I want to do this full time. I need a benefactor. I need to come across a benefactor who's willing to foot my life's bill so that I can do this full time. Oh, good Lord. Maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll be able to be my own benefactor. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. Well, guys, I think I'm going to get going as well. It is a little after 8, I noticed. So before we go, am going to play you something which I am going to have to get to. Let me get this over here, and I'm going to have to share my screen with you. Where was share screen? Present. Share screen. Okay. So, can you guys see this? Yes. Okay. I'm going. I'm adding myself back in so I can do a comment for a second. So, this is called Ants. This is the game, and this was created by our very own Awakened by the Looking Glass, Misha, and she made this. This is posted on her channel, which I will get and put a link to below. I know she's doing some editing and moving this around a little bit, but she made this totally with AI, and it is awesome. So
They swarm around like 1,000 ants, creeping on the ground, taking over my brain. Never leave me be. Anxiety's grip suffocating me. In my mind, like ants whispering, crawling through my brain, whispering lies. Ants in my brain driving me insane, crawling in circles causing me a strain. They march and they crawl a consistent train. Ants in my brain bringing me this pain. In my mind, like ants whispering, crawling through my brain, whispering lies. Thoughts scurrying around like a bug parade. Anxiety's the game and they won't stop playing. I'm caught in the web these insects have made. Ants in my brain, I wish they'd just fade away. In my mind, like ants whispering, crawling through my brain, whispering lies. They dance on my nerves with tiny, tiny feet. I try to squash them, but they're just too discreet. They whisper their worries and non-stop beat. Ants in my brain, they won't let me be me. Creeping on the ground, taking over my brain, never leave me be. Anxiety's grip suffocating me. In my mind, like ants whispering, crawling through my brain, whispering lies. nerves with tiny, tiny feet. I try to squash them, but they're just too discreet. They whisper their worries and non-stop beat. Dance in my brain, they won't let me be me. In my mind, they swarm around like 1,000 ants, creeping on the ground, taking over my brain, never leave me be. Anxiety's grip, suffocating me. In my mind, like ants whispering, crawling through my brain, whispering lies.
All right, guys. So when I say that this is by Misha, I mean she did the lyrics, she did the music, and obviously she did the video for it. Everything. That is her creation. She is so fabulous. She is the one who did our intro as well. Can't say enough. She's got some other incredible videos, some music on her channel. Go over and check it out. We'll put the link to this particular one in the description. She just sent me a new link, so I will put that in the description of this video once it gets posted in a few minutes. And check out her stuff over there. Production of the music, not the music or the voice. Yes, correct. It's not, but you used it all to put it together in the way that it is. Isn't it cool, Anik? I know. We have such creative people here, and everybody has such unique, incredible talent. It's just amazing, just absolutely amazing. If anybody has art that they would like to showcase, I have a friend who is starting a business, and I'd have to talk to you more about it. I can't share a lot with it. But if you do have artwork that you would like to share, unfortunately, that is non-AI generated at this point. For the first year, we have to be non-AI generated. Let me know. And maybe I can connect you if he needs more artwork at this person. New and improved version. Okay. Isn't that, Mock? Just incredible. So absolutely love it. So guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing what you have with me today. Yeah, it was something that was going through my brain. And when David turned to me and said, "You haven't had any ants," I was just like, well, fancy that. So just brought about thinking about this. So again, Saturday, don't have anything planned yet. Got a couple ideas, but if there's anything you want to see me cover on Saturday's live, definitely let me know. Either shoot me an email or put it down in the comments. Like and subscribe if you haven't done that already. Please check your subscriptions. I think we're just losing and gaining the same person every week. That seems to be how we go up one, down one, up one, down one. I have no idea what's going on. Hey, Todd, how you doing? No problem. But you have to go back and listen. And we just put up some new music video that Misha did. And the link to the new and improved, as she calls it, will be linked in the description, and I will get that up just as soon as I get off this live with you guys. Oh, awesome. Yeah. So Make sure like and subscribe, guys. Really important. If you can comment after, if you're going to watch it on replay, even if it's just hi, I'm replay crew, algorithm loves that. So it takes it into account, and the more people that comment on things, the more it gets pushed out to other people. So we're definitely just trying to get the word out there that, hey, there's a safe space for anybody who has had sexual assault experience or just trauma in general. Sometimes we talk about trauma, sometimes we don't. We do need to have a game night, though. I've been thinking about that more since it's summer. I'm thinking it might have to be a Saturday too, or maybe even a Sunday. We'll do it as a separate thing. And yeah, I think definitely. So think about that too. If you've got a game that you like, that you think might be neat for us to be able to play, note that we have anywhere between 6 and 15 people in general in our chats. So think about that. And you can also actually join some people to come on the screen with me as well. You can do it that way. So you rule at trivia. I love trivia too, but I think the only thing I have access to is like the original Trivial Pursuit, which I'm not sure how accurate some of the answers are anymore. That would be funny, wouldn't it? So like, who has the best time at whatever, and it's probably been blown away 5 times since whenever that was issued, right? So definitely, yeah, think about that. Think about what you might want to play if you've got anything that you think will be good, different games, cards, or whatever. And we'll try and do that. We'll try and do that soon. That sounds like a plan. So hugs and love to everybody. Please remember, you are worthy. You are valuable. You are strong because you're a survivor. And here we survive together, never alone. See you guys. Night.